morning, everyone. Gina here from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome. I'm just going to make sure, I hope I am going live here. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties, so I hope there we go, Miss Karen. Hello, good morning. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. It's funny because when I was here last, I was ready to break out my shorts and flip-flops, and today I think I saw with the wind chill, we're back down to a -2, so welcome to Wisconsin. So today, what do I have for you? I have lots to show you quick. We have the morning create class, so we're going to create 3 simple cards that show off DSP. Let's see, it is February 23rd, and hello Linda, Miss Mary. Mary made it home late last night. She snuck out early on me and was able to go home and spend some time and be with her hubby and hopefully get a good night's rest. So I have a few things that I can show you that you can still get for the month of February. February's scrapbook workshop was awesome. We brought in a few things. What did we bring in? Scenic Adventure. I did bring in another retired stamp set. Save me a spot for Onstage in the Hive. Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. So it's a $70 order with me. You need to order the workshop if you don't have it. Otherwise, order whatever you want. And we made these beautiful layouts. Check these out. Aren't these awesome? So for my great outdoors, it was nice to work with something that was outdoors and create this way, and I'm very excited for next month. I'll show you a sneak peek in a bit. So there's that, and then we made 5 cards. So you can still order this kit yet through Wednesday. So $70 order. And then I send you an additional kit that includes die cut pieces, cardstock, photo mats, things like that, ribbon, gems. I don't have any gems on mine, but we use the Pentagon gems, so you guys will get that included with that. And then March, we're gonna bring in Beach Boardwalk. I love, love, love this set. So for those of you going to Onstage in Long Beach, I think this would be perfect layouts for you. So here are 4 that I have done. I have another set of layouts to make and the 5 cards. So we've got that. That is coming, I believe I'm moving it up a week so that I can have Onstage in the Hive. So I'm looking at the 6th. I have to get it cleared with the queen bee here. So we'll have that. And then Wednesday I will be here with Card Buffet. Card Buffet we did in person earlier this month, and we're doing it online. Kits are still available. So these are using all of the online exclusives. So if you want these kits, reach out to me. And then we'll have today's kits available still too. So let's talk about Onstage in the Hive. So some of us could not attend Onstage this year. The event is hosted in Long Beach, California, and for some of us it was not doable this year. So instead of being at home and mopey and sad because we're missing out on all the fun, I thought I would bring Onstage here. So we're going to host an event here in the Hive. This will be local here, or I will have kits available for anyone who wants to go kits. So we're gonna have, I'm planning on doing 8 projects. Someone had mentioned let's play some bingo, so that is an option if I have enough of you here. Of course we'll do bingo with lots of fun prizes. There'll be some little goodies for you guys too, also for coming. We'll have food, so it's just gonna be a day of fun and stamping and just being together and having a good time and not being sad that we're not at on stage. So we're gonna have our little own on stage here. I'm still working out all the details of what the costs will be and what the costs will be with food and things like that. So, but just mark your calendars. It's Saturday, March 14th. We'll be spending the whole time in the hive here. So, let me know if you would like to attend. You can always reach me. This is where you guys can reach me. And if you have questions, you can reach me at Glitter and Ink on Facebook. Email me at gina@gmail.com, and here's my phone number. I am planning, once I figure out all the fine details, I will get an email out and I will send it to Chris, and Chris can send it out to everyone in the team from there, and I'll send it out to my peeps too. So yeah, so if you guys have any thoughts of things you would like to see or do, I am definitely open to whatever. I was planning on doing some fun folds. Maybe we do a few techniques. Maybe I'll throw in a watercolor card or something like that. When I create, it's just kind of wherever I get the motivation or the creativity, wherever pops up in my head. That's kind of how I design. It's not that I say, oh, I see this, I want to do this necessarily. It's I get an idea and then I go with it, and that's how my classes come together and things like that. So anyways, let's get stamping. Like I said, reach out if you have any questions. So morning create, I always try to keep the class a little bit simpler and really trying to feature DSP. We all have this beautiful DSP, and I like to find cards to showcase that. So today's class definitely features cards that gets to showcase our DSP. So with further ado, we will start with, I'm going to start from the back and go from there. Oh no, where's my DSP? Okay, here we go. Happy Monday, right? That's how we go. Hello, Polly. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's get this all together here. Wow, technical difficulties here. Karen, you're so sad you cannot make it to On Stage in the Hive. You have a women's conference. We'll be missing you. Maybe we'll have to steal your halos from you and leave a spot for you, and we'll toss your halos around so that we can pretend you're still here. Okay, so our card here is going to be a Z-fold. So we got our crumb cake card base. It's scored in half in the front, like this. Then you're going to have a piece of Mossy Meadow here. Don't lose your little gems. You're going to have two pieces of DSP that are the same. So one is for the inside and one is for the outside. So we're going to adhere these, but we're going to stamp this first. Let's get our stamping done, right? Okay. So I am bringing in Words of Beauty, and we are going to stamp I Think You're Amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I really love this DSP. It's pretty awesome. Well, maybe Karen, I don't know, maybe we're going to do a shoebox swap too. I don't know. So maybe you need to come after your women's conference and you'll be primed and ready to cause trouble because you've had to behave all day. So we'll bring in our Calypso Coral. think you're amazing. Now you could stamp something in the bottom, but I feel like I have the DSP, so I'm not going to stamp anything else. And then on our label, we're gonna stamp, I appreciate you, but you love a shoebox idea. Okay, so that might be an option too. We're just gonna have lots of fun, and we are gonna have a great time that weekend. So I love all of these little sentiments that come in the set. This is the Words of Beauty. It coordinates with the Petals of Beauty, and this is the Brushed with Beauty DSP. I did a Stamp a Stack last month with this set and absolutely love it. So, hello Carol from snowy Connecticut. Well, I'm glad that you have the snow and we don't. When Mary headed home yesterday, Mary, out in La Crosse, how much snow did they get 10 inches? She just thought that they had 10 inches in La Crosse, so, or I'd heard that. So I'm glad that they got it, because I'm over winter now, that we had our spring-like weather. We had 50s not that long ago, almost 60 one day, and I was really enjoying that. Okay, so we'll stamp our sentiment on here. I know it's only February and I shouldn't expect spring, but I figured we started early this year in November, so we should have spring early. 2 feet here. Oh my goodness. Ugh. That, I would be really depressed if I had 2 feet of snow now. I'm ready to like plant flowers and do things like that, so I hope we don't get 2 more feet. Farmers might disagree. They're saying it's dry out there yet, but I don't know. So we got about 1/8 of an inch border here. So this is our inside, and then we're going to place this next to it. And they might overlap just a smidge. I totally agree, Sue. Time to stay indoors and craft and not come out until it all melts. That sounds absolutely perfect. Okay, so now we have that together. This can go on the inside. Like this. And then our card is going to close like that. And now don't worry about this vanilla gap that we have here. We're going to cover that with our diamonds. So don't worry about that. That will be all covered. So now it's time to put our layers together. So we have that same DSP we used on the inside. We'll go on the outside. So what everyone do this weekend? I know Miss Mary was here in the hive. She was stamping away and entertaining everyone here. I had quite a busy weekend. We took my baby girl, we got her prom dress. Such a big thing. So she now officially has her prom dress. I can't believe we're winding down here. She's gonna graduate in June. So you're going to have 2 pieces of DSP, and you're going to attach them to your Mossy Meadow. So we're using kind of these 2 more solid images. And then we have a floral image That's gonna go in the middle, and this one's a larger square. So the two green squares are smaller, and this one is larger. You're in Pittsburgh, Sue, and you got a 1/2 inch, but it's still a good day to stay in and craft. Really, all of winter is a great time to stay inside. So from November till, I don't know, the end of March is a great time to craft. Okay, so then you have to decide which way you want your diamonds to go. And in this case, this is the way this one will go. These two patterns, they don't matter. So these two we're going to put on first, and we're going to line them up like this. We're going to put dimensionals on only half of the diamond. And that is going to go all the way to the top, like so. Okay? And then just make sure that your dimensionals are not peeking through your DSP. So I need to move this back just a smidge. There we go. That way when we open up, we don't see our adhesive. And then we'll do the same with this one. Meet this one at the bottom. Make sure my adhesive doesn't show. And then this one here is going to go in the middle. Make sure I have it in the direction that I want it to go. And then this gets nestled in the middle of the two other diamonds here. Like that. So it's a great way to showcase DSP. We got 3 different patterns. And then, like I said, that vanilla piece that was in the center here, you don't see that. That gets covered up with this. So now all we need to do is add a little bit of a vellum leaf here. And I'll just put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom part of the stem because you won't see that. And we'll add a little bit of Stella. I love Stella on this vellum. It's so sparkly. It's like having shimmer paper. And then we will bring in our chair tape and add a little bit of gold and mossy meadow ribbon. We're just going to weave that back and forth. Snip the end a little bit, add some dimensionals. So did anyone do anything fun and exciting this weekend? And then that'll go towards the bottom. You don't want to cover up your leaf. So I put it towards the bottom of my diamond here. And all we need is to add some gems. So we're using the Pearls of Beauty. So this is all from the same suite here. And there we go. There's our first card. And a different way to, you know, do a Z fold with diamonds versus usually we'll use a rectangle or something like that. So there we go. There is card number 1. Card number 2, I'm going through my stash of DSP and I realize I haven't used this paper in a really long time. This was a carryover into the annual catalog. And this is what? Painted Perennial Lavender. So for all my purple fans out there, I brought this one out, and of course using some vellum again. So really easy, just doing circles, and I'm actually going to do it in the opposite direction. So we're going to do it vertical versus horizontal. Sue, 2 of your sisters and their young grandchildren, I went, oh, to Disney on Ice. I love Disney on Ice. Oh, I remember taking my kids. Such a good time. Okay, so another crumb cake base. So we got a lot of neutral bases this time. I have a piece of vellum that I embossed with the beautiful patterns embossing folder. So this embossing folder is part of the Brush with Beauty suite. And I'm going to just add some adhesive in the middle because I'm going to cover up the middle so you will not see the DSP. And then our Highland Heather is just slightly larger, so you got about an 1/8 inch border, so it's slightly larger. So you'll see that peeking through. That can get adhered then once you have those 2 pieces together to your card base. Okay. So we have this beautiful floral DSP. We have some purple DSP, which has floral on the back. So pick 2 patterns that you really, really love. I think I'm going to do it this way. I want to see the butterflies on this. So we're going to go like that, I think. Or like that, maybe. So arrange the circles how you want. I want to make sure that my butterflies here don't get completely covered up. So there we go. I think that's how I'll do it. So I got 1 butterfly that I'm not covering up. So just like that. So we're going to put these down. Such pretty paper. I think the hardest part when doing some of these, like this one here, is making sure to have DSP that isn't necessarily directional. That was my hardest part, is finding DSP to make it a diamond. It's not going horizontal or vertical. So you want to make sure with this one that you're using paper that maybe is non-directional, so that when you make it into a diamond, you don't have to worry about that. This one, not so much when doing circles. Okay, so then we're going to bring this one in. And I used With You in Mind, and I did Thank You, but maybe this one I'm going to put Best Wishes. I should make sure it fits on here. Oh, it just fits. So these are big sentiments. And they just fit on this circle, but that's how I wanted them to fit. I wanted them to take up that whole circle space. Hello, Margine. How are you today? Ta-da! So we're gonna take, here's our strip here. We've got a piece of this white and gold ribbon. Wow, that was hard to say. And this is just a strip of, a 1/2 inch strip of Lost Lagoon. And I bannered the ends of them. And then I'll just shorten this a little bit. Oops. So now you can put your banner on. And of course, I'm gonna pop it up. Anyone doing anything exciting today on a Monday? I'll be designing today. That'll be my fun. Got laundry going already. So we have that in the center. And then these beautiful, oh, paying bills? That's not fun, Margine. That's not a happy Monday. We have our brush butterflies. Now these are in the last chance, so grab them while you can. How many of you took advantage of free shipping last week? Last week, Stampin' Up! Offered free shipping on orders, qualifying orders. Look at that. Beautiful. So here's the difference between, you can do horizontal or you can do vertical. Do you guys have a favorite? Which one do you like more? Okay, then we just need to stamp the inside. So we got best wishes. And I don't know, I love this sentiment, maybe because I'm always sometimes late in sending things. I'm sorry I missed your special day. Let's extend the celebration. So this is from Coneflower Celebrations. And we are going to stamp this sentiment in Lost Lagoon. And then there is this beautiful butterfly in there. And we'll stamp that with our Highland Heather. And then I'll bring in my Wink of Stella, and I'll pick up a little bit of that color. And I'm going gonna dip it in just a little bit. And color in some areas. Isn't this pretty? And it's in purple. Where are my purple fans? I know Miss Karen is a purple fan. There we go. So we added a little bit of shading in there. Make sure that you wipe off your Stella pen so you don't transfer purple to something else. And there we go. Card number 2 done. So, so pretty. And then, whoops, now I'm dropping things all over. This next one, I'm going to show you guys how I cut the paper. Okay, this card does not want to stay on the desk. So this card, or this piece of DSP in particular, you will only get one card out of. You need it to be 3 5/8 by 5, okay? So we're gonna bring our trimmer in. Now, I want more, here, I'll show you guys the card, that will help. I wanna see more of the vase and the flowers in this card than I necessarily wanna, you know, I don't wanna see the background so much, this light gray. I just wanna focus on the pot. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take about 3/4 of an inch off of one side. And now, this needs to be, what I say again, 3 5/8. So now I'm going to cut it at 3 5/8. Here. And then we need it at 5. So this is at 6. So I am going to cut off 1/4 of an inch off of the bottom and 1/4 of an inch off the top. I think I cut more off the bottom. I didn't do that very well. But anyways, I cut more off the bottom in this one, so I cut a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch off of the bottom and only 1/4 of an inch off the top. So when you are, you know, you just kind of have to think about that when doing this. And this paper is really great for this card is, what do you want to be the focal image of this card? And my focal image is I really wanted to make sure that I had the 3 flowers in here and part of the vase. So that's why I cut off those extra pieces. You'll see I cut a little bit of the flower off here and a little bit of the flower here, a little bit of greenery, but I pretty much am cutting off all of the background is what I did here. And same with this. I cut a little bit of the vase off in the bottom, and this was all gray on the top. So that's how I did that. So now that we have our main piece, now you can take and cut 1 inch off of one side. You can do the left side or the right side, whatever your preference is. In this case, I am doing it off of the right side. Mary, you got to get caught up on laundry and unloading. Yeah, you've been gone a while. You got to see what what you've all got there hidden in your car. And okay, basic beige. How many of you like basic beige? I love basic beige. Got something sticky there. We have a piece of pecan pie, our white for our inside, and our label, and a little bit of greenery. So all you do with this card is we're going to adhere this here on this side. There's going to be a little gap in between the two pieces. Now, you could also, let's say you have not a very large design, but you could easily do this with 2 pieces of DSP that, like the other one that we did, the first card that we did, where we had the floral and the green or the coral. You could easily do this with taking either the green or the coral and making that a strip over here, and then making the floral image over here. So like that. And then you just make sure that you put it on right, that your patterns are going in the same direction. And you're going to leave that, 1/8 of an inch border in the middle. Like that. So when you have this pack is really great at that, where it has just like a big scene in it. And we also have, so this is beautiful gallery DSP, and we also have, it's a fall one. I can't think of what that one's called right now, that DSP. So these cards are really great to really just showcase that whole piece of DSP in there. So before we glue this on, we need our ribbon. And this is going to go along the bottom of our card. Not the bottom, I shouldn't say that. Towards the bottom. It's going to go roughly about there. This is probably one of my favorite ribbons from the catalogs too. So make sure you've got this on here straight. Then you can adhere this to your card front. Like that. Then we are going to bring in our Petals of Beauty. And we're going to stamp the greenery on this with our Mossy Meadow. Now, if you don't have the stamp set at home, that's okay. You could just use the greenery as is, add a little wink of Stella. So I brought in my scratch paper here, and I'm going to stamp a leaf in the corner. Okay, so we're done with our mossy, and then I'm going to bring in basic gray. And Rolling Waves. So Rolling Waves is a new online exclusive coming. It'll be available. It's available for demonstrators now. I haven't seen though if it's off of back order or not. It was back in stock. And there's a sentiment here. You're in my thoughts. These online exclusive go live next week, March 3rd. So we're going to take our label. Stamp this in the center. Oh, and we're going to bring Peace on Earth and stamp with deepest sympathy. But you could definitely turn this into a happy birthday or whatever you want. But I thought this paper would make a great sympathy card. So this will go here. I'm going to line up the centers of it over that little gap that we have the pecan showing through. Pop up my leaves. And then we'll just tuck them into the side of our label. Like that, and then we'll bring our ribbon in and we will make a little bit of a knot. You could do a bow if you wanted a bow, but I like to make knots. A little less bulky sometimes when you have a knot versus a bow. And then cut off the extra. There's a lot of ribbon on this one. There we go. Stella up these leaves. And then I brought in the, what are these, flower motifs? Pressed flower motifs. And there we go. We just need to adhere our inside. And card number 3 is done. There we go. So simple, easy, but that DSP really makes it stand out and really kind of creates the beauty of this card. So there we go, our 3 cards are done. Like I said, you can choose which way you want to do this, if you want to do vertical or horizontal, your choice. And then these. So these kits are available. They're $19 plus shipping. And of course, if you get multiple kits or if you want shipping with Christine, we can reduce the shipping costs. So reach out on that. Otherwise, let's see. It is coming to a close here. We have 1 week left of February, and that means this is the last week to any of your bonus bucks that you earn during the month of January. Now is the time to use them. So you only have until the 28th to use them up. So use them up, don't lose them. Also, great time to join my team right now. Stampin' Up! Is offering, it's $125 worth of product for $99. Plus, you get the brand new Stampin' Positioner. So, we as demonstrators had like a 2-week window where we could order it, but now it's only available if you become a new demonstrator. So that's another $49 value you get. Plus, they send you catalogs and other business kits and things like that with that. And then what else is happening? I gotta double check. I feel like there's one more thing that I am missing for the month. Da, 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 da. Oh, don't forget to product of the month. So I haven't checked what the status is, but the product of the month, if you make a $75 purchase, you can choose the product of the month for an additional $5. So this month is a really pretty, it's called Painted Illusions DSP. Has pretty colors like Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, Pretty Peacock, Misty Moonlight, I think it's a Darling Duckling, and Granny Apple Green. That is available for this month. I'm not sure yet if December and January are still available. January was this wonderful stamp set called Fabulous Sayings. So it has all of these nice, it's got big bold words and some small words, and I always like to mix and match my fonts, so I really like that. And then December's was a blue DSP pack. So just note though, if you want the product of the month, and let's say January and February's are still available and you want both, they have to be 2 separate orders. So 2 separate $75 orders. You can't make a combined $150 order and then order 2 of them. They have to be 2 separate orders. That's just the way Stampin' Up! Has it. So other than that, I don't know that I have a whole lot for you guys. Like I said, check out what I have coming up in March. We will have, okay, so I showed you guys, we have the Beach Boardwalk workshop coming up the beginning of February. Technique class we'll be doing, I believe, the 11th. Mark your calendars for the 14th for Onstage in the Hive, where we're going to stamp and have fun, and there's probably going to be some goofing around and all of that good stuff in the Hive. Shenanigans will be happening. And what else do I have coming up? Oh, we'll be doing another surprise box, and we'll be using the Lovely and Beautiful Suite. So we have that. We'll have Morning Create again. And the January stamp set is all gone. Thank you, Penny. So the stamp set for January is all gone, but maybe the 2 packs of DSP are there. So lots of great things coming your way. And I think that's it. So online exclusives are available starting next week. So if you're not a demonstrator, they will be available to customers and demonstrators starting on the 3rd. Demonstrators, you can pre-order now. So anyways, I hope you all have a great day. Happy Monday, and I will see you guys back here Wednesday morning for the online exclusives card buffet, where we'll be featuring all of the online exclusives that will be available starting next week. So until then, have a great day, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Thanks for joining me.